No. Most other leagues do allow it. PC Pro League, you're not allowed a 10-man roster. I think it's a 7-man roster, and you have to have actually a 5-core team in proper PC Pro League with +2 subs. And they have also rules around secondary teams like Team A and Team B, where you can mix rosters. But that's not going to work in Xbox competitive, not where we are right now. So can we have 10-man rosters? No, I don't see any reason why you need 10-man rosters. I've had people forfeit games with the 8-man roster and say, if we had a 10-man roster, it'd be fine. Sorry, why would it be fine? You've got 5 players that you're scheduled to play that game, 3 subs, have 2 of them on standby. I don't see how having 2 extra people makes all that difference. If you can't rely on your 3 subs to turn up for the game, get rid of them. Whoever those extra 2 people are that you think you can rely on, make those your subs and have them play the game. I know it's not always necessarily as simple as that, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, if you can't field a 5-player team on a game that's been scheduled, and bear in mind, season 1 to 3, I was scheduling the whole season a month before we even started the season, and it was published 1 month before the league even started. And you know the 3 months of games that are going to be played, or at least the 7 week of league stages at least. You know when the playoffs are, but you don't know who's in them, obviously. So if you can't schedule 5 players for that game and have 3 people or up to 3 people on standby to cover if 1 or 2 of those people go off, why should we have more players available to you? Another reason for it is competitiveness. At season 1, we had 10 players. It was after season 1 where we restricted it to 8. And you had the likes of Athena who had 10 players, and you had the likes of Scythe who had 5 or 6. When you play against Scythe, you know who you're playing, you can VOD review, you have an idea of what you're going to do. When you've got a team of 10 and they could bring in any of those 10 people, every single week you're playing, you're going to have a different lineup possibly, and you cannot VOD review it, you cannot tackle it, and it makes it very, very uncompetitive. And this is just a bigger reason as what I started talking about. And in fact, this is the reason why we don't have a 10-man roster and it is just 8. One is to closely more align it to the PC Pro League or top tier leagues, but also because just you shouldn't need 10, 8 should be enough, and because of the competitive advantage that teams of that size have. And I think, those are the main reasons why I would not allow a 10-man roster anymore, because it's just not necessary. I know people say, and this goes into the scheduling as well, people say, people don't turn up for games and they forfeit. And it's like, well, if I had 10 players, it would have been different. We don't plan our lives around a video game. But I appreciate that. I don't think anyone should plan their lives around a video game. However, when you're making a commitment to a league game with your team, in my opinion, you're not scheduling your life around a video game. You're scheduling your life to 4 of your friends. You're scheduling something around 5 other people, the other team. You're scheduling around the caster, any admins that are having to do work while the cast is on, and also to the viewers. We get 50 plus viewers a lot of the time. There's 50 viewers that are suddenly let down because there isn't a game because you couldn't get people together. So it's all very well saying, I don't schedule my life around a video game. Fair enough. But at the same time, 50 viewers, 5 players on the other team, caster, admins, we shouldn't have to schedule our lives around you, that one person that decides that they don't want to turn up on this day, on this time. If you're in a football team as a hobby, game starts on Saturday at 3 o'clock. They're not changing that because you have one player that can't turn up. It's just the way it is. That's a tricky one. As we're now in season 4, the first 3 seasons had about 34 games each, which means technically, it'd be just over 100 games that I've casted. If it wasn't for the forfeits that we had in season 3, I think I'd be just over 100 now. But I could be at like 99, 98, 99, 100 casts at the point of recording this video. So there's a lot to pick from. But you know what? I've got to be honest. Of all the games that I've casted, the one that sticks in my mind the absolute most, it's got to be Scythe versus Flex in season 1. Scythe versus Flex, best of 2, and specifically it was Oregon that was the best. Scythe won the game, and Scythe just had such an incredible game. It was when Jinx and Muds, Many Mud, were on Flex, and they came into the leagues, and it was all thought that these guys are like top champs. This is going to be brilliant for Flex. They're going to do so well. And Flex did do well for a lot of it. But Scythe versus Flex on Oregon, on my league, Scythe just did so damn well. They clutched a 2 versus 4 or 2 versus 5 post plant against Jinx and Muds and Force Rocker and AS Flex, and I'm sorry, I can't recall who the 5th player was, because it was all about Jinx and Muds mainly, to be honest with you. There was that clutch, just you wouldn't have thought they could win it. You wouldn't have thought they could win it, but they did. And they just kept on going through that one map, just playing Siege against 2 top players that you just wouldn't have thought that they would be able to do. They had some great plays, and it was just so much fun to cast and so unexpected. And that really made the difference. It just really made the difference. So that was probably my favorite game. There's been a lot, but that was probably my favorite one. Certainly because it sticks in my mind the most. I'm a project manager in real life, so my job is to make stuff happen and get people to do stuff. Getting people to do stuff in the Siege community, on Xbox specifically, is very hard. A lot of people are younger. They don't necessarily have the commitment to what I'm doing that I have. No, in fact, when you build something, no one's ever going to have the commitment to it that you have when you build something. It's just the way it is. Because you've built it, it's always that little bit more here in your heart and a little bit more special for you. What's the best thing about running a league for me? With the project management experience that I have about making stuff happen and organizing things and getting stuff done, for me, it ticks those boxes of putting a schedule together, seeing it happen, seeing it come together, seeing teams have fun, seeing people enjoy what I'm putting together in terms of a cast, and just putting something out there that people can enjoy and spend their time on is what I like. Not everyone enjoys it. That's up to them. That's fine. You don't have to enjoy everything I do or everything the teams do, but I enjoy putting the teams out there. I enjoy promoting them. I enjoy seeing them grow. That's why I wanted teams in TXB Pro to have Twitter accounts. I want to grow them as a team, an organization, and at the same time have those teams grow what we're doing and build something together. People say, oh, just a shitty Discord league, or it doesn't mean anything. Okay, fine. The term Discord league doesn't really mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. It's what people like to do to put you down on what you're doing down. Oh, it's just a Discord league. Okay, well, how do you think PC Pro League runs its league? They have a website where they organize stuff, where they track stuff. So we're using tournament.com, for example, to track the Swiss format. They'll advertise on Twitter. Hello, we advertise on Twitter. They stream on Twitch. I stream on Twitch. And most of the leagues stream on Twitch as well and do stuff on Twitter. And we organize our players and communicate through Discord. Why through Discord? Because that's what it's for. It's a big gaming communication platform. It's what other leagues use. So to use the term Discord League is just a poor way of trying to put down what we do in our community here as competitive play for Xbox. Discord Leagues doesn't mean anything. The fact is, you're a community of competitive players, of people that want to put on a show and do stuff, regardless of the format you're using to communicate, regardless of the format you're using to promote, regardless of the format that people see you on. Don't let people say it's just a Discord league, it doesn't mean anything. You're still something, whether it's this league, whether it's XCL, XLL, DXL, First Strike League, TEG, all those other leagues out there. I forget the names of all of them. Doesn't matter what format they're using to organize their games. We're using the same stuff that the big boys up in PC Pro are using in terms of platforms. We are. And I've kind of got off the best thing about running a league. But the best thing about running it is, like I say, it's getting the pleasure out of seeing people enjoy it, seeing people enjoy being casted, the extra bits and pieces that I do. On the flip side, I'm going to answer the question, what's the worst thing about running a league? Because I think that goes nicely with the best thing. It wasn't asked, but I'm going to answer it anyway. The worst thing for me is seeing the way that our players and community treat each other, the disrespect that they have for each other. And also for me, the lack of organization that people have. I put together a schedule and people say, I don't know what I'm doing when that game is in 2 weeks' time. I can't tell you if I'm going to be able to play it. What you're telling me is you've got nothing in your calendar and you want to see if something better is going to come up. Okay, that's fine. But again, why are you committing? For me, if I look at my calendar, if I say to you, I don't know what I'm doing in 2 weeks, that means I've looked at my calendar and it's empty, which means I can book this game and I can play this game because I've got nothing else going on. When you say to me, I don't know what I'm doing, it just basically means, I might find something better to do, so I'm not going to commit to that just yet. So that's one of the worst things about running a league for me, is when people want to keep you hanging on and can't just say, yes, we can play that game. I've run a team, or I've managed a team or whatever with JPC, and I understand completely how difficult it can be to get 5 players to say, yes, I can be there. But when you use statements like, oh, it's too early for me to tell, and that goes on for a few weeks, and then you get to the day before game day or game day, and they say, yeah, I can't get a team together. It's like, well, okay. I can't feel guilty about that. There's times where it gets frustrating as a caster, as a streamer, as a league owner. You want to put that game on, and it's bloody painful to say, okay, we're not going to play the game. You have to forfeit. We have to forfeit because we're not going to delay it just because you couldn't get your team together. It's not fair on everyone else. And that's one of the worst things for me is, like I say, when games can't happen, when people cheat, when people get accused of cheating, or people accused of cheating without basis. And like I say, just the disrespect that the community has for each other. We're all just trying to play the game. Yet people want to hold things against each other and say, you're shit because you only got 5 kills in that game. Man's playing support. Yeah, but you should still be getting killed. It doesn't matter. Are you working together as a team? Are you feeling like you're growing as an individual? Are you feeling like you're getting better as a team? Do you feel like you're learning? Every game you come away from where you've lost, you've learned something, or you should have learned something to make it better next time. You know, I won't do that next time. So those are the worst things for me. The question was the best thing. I answered the best thing, but I'm answering the worst thing as well, even though it wasn't asked. So that was me doing some Q&A. Hopefully you have liked the questions and the answers. If you haven't, I'm sorry. If you've got some questions you want to ask yourself, then there is a link to a form in the description where you can go and ask up to 5 questions, but you can submit as many forms as you want. You can be anonymous, or we can put your name up there. It's up to you. The form will tell you what to do if you want to be known or if you want to be anonymous. But yeah, if you want to see more questions get answered about the leagues by me, or questions about me, or what I do, or you know, my perspective on stuff, then please do go ahead. Thank you very much. And remember to like and subscribe.